Welcome back to ZNGP today. At Misano's ProDay on July 1st, five-time world champion Jorge Lorenzo returned to two wheels, not as a racer hungry for podiums, but as a candid commentator on his own career and the 2025 MotoGP championship. With trademark honesty, he confessed he no longer shares the passion in their eyes, yet offered razor-sharp insights on riders, teams, and the title fight. Former 250 cubic centimeters world champion Marco Melandri didn't mince words at Misano's Vmoto ProDay, where nostalgia met honest commentary. While enjoying track time with fellow legends like Lorenzo and Capi, Melandri took a hard look at today's MotoGP, dissecting Marc Márquez's dominance, Pecco Bagnaia's pressure, and Jorge Martín's turmoil with Aprilia. In a landmark shift for motorcycle racing, Liberty Media has finalized its €4.2 billion acquisition of Dorna Sports, bringing MotoGP into the same stable as Formula One. With an 84% controlling stake secured, and existing management retaining 16%, MotoGP embarks on a new chapter under Liberty's expanded motorsports portfolio. Jack Miller might be celebrated for podiums, but Assen was a weekend of survival for the Pramac Yamaha rider. Amid chaos and high attrition at the Dutch GP, Miller completed both sprint and feature races, placing 14th each time, and left the paddock with clear data and a clear challenge: how to turn the M1's potential into overtaking power. Don't forget to click subscribe button and the bell icon for MotoGP news update. Lorenzo kicked off the interview by contrasting himself with fellow ProDay guests Marco Melandri and Lorenzo Capi Rossi, who still burn with racers' zeal. For Lorenzo, the fire died long ago. Motorbikes have been my life, but I haven't lived them as a great passion. When I see my former rivals, they have that passion in their eyes that I don't have. Lorenzo's statement. Dragons of the 2000s like Melandri and Capi Rossi light up at any throttle blip. Lorenzo no longer. He rides for fun, not fervor, a mindset shift that frees him from past sacrifices but also separates him from the purebred racer's drive. Far from disparaging his former self, Lorenzo reframed his devotion. It was never the ride but the conquest that thrilled him. My passion wasn't racing motorcycles for pleasure, it was winning and improving. That was my true passion. Every strict diet, every regression into data, every split-second angle was in service of the result. Unlike riders driven by the moment, Lorenzo thrived on the outcome. 5 titles and 47 Premier Class wins stand testament. Today, Lorenzo channels his insights into Dura La Vida, a MotoGP podcast he admits began as a joke but has become a very good product. It's having incredible success. I think it's the best podcast on MotoGP, with competent guests, and journalists often quote it. From diet regrets to aerodynamic debates, Lorenzo's voice resonates off-track. Though no longer pinned to the saddle, he remains a potent force in the paddock, shaping opinions and carving a second calling in the media. Turning to 2025's championship saga, Lorenzo offered a succinct verdict: Marc Márquez is untouchable, unless fate intervenes. He has the best bike and is at an extremely high level. Right now, only an injury could stop him. From his double at Assen to flawless control under fire, Márquez has outclassed rivals Pecco Bagnaia and Marco Bezzecchi. Lorenzo sees no chink in the number 93's armor, only the frailty every rider carries. Lorenzo's gaze also reached Honda and Yamaha. He believes their massive resources can fuel a true renaissance under the 2027 technical reset. They have the financial strength to come back. In 2027, with new regulations, everything will be leveled out. Aprilia's surprise gains and Ducati's dominance have reshaped the grid, but Yamaha and Honda still wield checkbooks that can rewrite rules. Under tomorrow's V4 engines and streamlined chassis mandates, Lorenzo expects them to re-emerge as frontrunners. Jorge Lorenzo's Misano reflections blend nostalgia, frankness, and seasoned foresight. Unfettered by passion but fueled by precision, he's traded track battles for candid analysis, and sees a championship scripted for Marquez, a media empire in his podcast, and a coming reset that could realign MotoGP's powerhouses. In a sport built on speed, Lorenzo remains one of its sharpest minds. According to Melandri, Pecco Bagnaia is still performing at last year's level, but Marc and Alex Marquez's pace is redefining the limits, forcing Pecco beyond his natural riding threshold. Without the two Marquezes at their current level, Bagnaia would win every race. Melandri points out that pushing to match Marc's finesse and braking, especially the way he uses the rear brake to stabilize the bike, may be disturbing Pecco's rhythm. The result? More mistakes, more risk, and less confidence. Melandri strongly advises Bagnaia not to imitate Marquez's style. Instead, he urges Pecco to rediscover what works best for him and trust his instincts. Changing your riding style is impossible and unnatural. You have to try to forget about Marquez and focus on your own sensations. The ex-Ducati rider believes that chasing Marquez's data can be counterproductive. The key lies in finding setup solutions that suit Bagnaia's style, not reshaping it around a rival. Melandri underlines how Marc has evolved, now defeating a new generation after already seeing off legends like Rossi, Lorenzo, and Pedrosa. Now that the best rider is on the best bike. I'm not saying it was predictable, but Dolignan knew it when he chose Marquez. Melandri reaffirms what many are starting to believe. This isn't just a good pairing, it's a dynastic threat. Marc's ability to adapt, combined with the technical brilliance of the Desmercedes, has created a juggernaut. Turning to the Jorge Martín Aprilia contract standoff, Melandri casts his vote for a familiar name, Enea Bastianini. In my opinion, Aprilia could be the right environment for him. It's a family team, and the bike's characteristics could suit his style. After a tough year, Enea is motivated to bounce back. Melandri sees in him the same feeling he had in 2008, a rider out of sync with his machine but full of untapped potential. With Aprilia's close-knit structure, the match could be just what Enea needs. Though retired, Melandri reminded fans at Misano that racers never lose their edge. He, Lorenzo, and Capi Rossi all pushed hard, and enjoyed every minute. We found ourselves among ex-riders, but no one wanted to be left behind. The Vmoto ProDay wasn't just about reminiscing. It was a powerful reminder that racing is in the blood. And as Melandri's reflections show, the same analytical eye and passion that made him a world-class rider still burns brightly. Marco Melandri's voice carries weight, not just because of his past, but because of his clarity. His analysis of Pecco's struggle, Marc's supremacy, and Aprilia's future options resonates throughout the paddock. In a MotoGP season full of drama, injuries, and transitions, Melandri offers a rare mix of wisdom, realism, and unfiltered insight. The deal, ratified by the European Commission, cements MotoGP's place alongside F1 and Quint within Liberty Media's Formula One group. Liberty Media has completed its €4.2 billion acquisition of Dorna Sports, officially bringing MotoGP under the same ownership umbrella as Formula One. Since 1991, Dorna had steered MotoGP's commercial and broadcast rights. Now, with Liberty's marketing prowess and capital, the premier motorcycle series is poised to accelerate global growth and fan engagement. Under the agreement, longtime CEO Carmelo Ezpeleta and senior executives, including COO/CFO Enrique Aldama, remain at the helm, ensuring continuity amid fresh leadership. By keeping Ezpeleta's team in place, Liberty signals respect for MotoGP's hard-won expertise, while injecting new resources and F1-style commercial strategies to expand broadcast rights, sponsorships, and global reach. To guide MotoGP's next phase, Liberty's board, led by Chase Carey and Sean Bratches, will join Dorna's directors, bringing insights from F1's recent commercial boom. Carey and Bratches were key architects of Formula One's surge in audiences and sponsorship. Their presence promises to fast-track MotoGP's digital platforms, fan experiences, and market expansion, particularly in North America and Asia. With F1's playbook in hand, MotoGP can look forward to innovative calendar formats, enhanced broadcast deals, and deeper fan engagement, while preserving its distinct on-track drama. The transaction marks the beginning of a new era for MotoGP, which will remain under the leadership of longtime CEO Carmelo Ezpeleta. Liberty's acquisition offers MotoGP the financial muscle and global networks to explore new markets, fan activations, and technological innovations, without losing the grassroots teams and circuits that form the sport's backbone. Since acquiring F1 in 2017, Liberty has overseen record viewership, new circuits, and blockbuster media deals. MotoGP aims to mirror that success, capitalizing on its own thrilling storylines and star riders. From blockbuster Grands Prix in the US to digital fan platforms, MotoGP's roadmap under Liberty includes ambitious growth targets, fueled by the same strategic vision that transformed F1 into a global sports phenomenon. Liberty Media's €4.2 billion takeover ushers MotoGP into a new era, marrying Dorna's seasoned stewardship with F1's style commercial muscle. As Ezpeleta and his team steer the on-track action, Liberty's board will drive off-track expansion, setting the stage for fresh circuits, fan experiences, and a broader global footprint. The paddock's eyes now turn to how quickly MotoGP can shift up a gear under its new owners. In both races, Miller found himself mid-pack, locked in a long drag with Enea Bastianini. His race pace felt stronger than his finishing position suggested, but making moves on Assen's narrow lines proved nearly impossible. I was excited when Fabio passed me. I wondered what I could do, as I had a higher race pace. But we struggled to initiate a pass. You're never really in position, Miller said. Miller's M1 showed clear speed and clean air, but the Yamaha's lack of front-end aggression at braking zones left him boxed in. Unless a rival slipped, he simply couldn't find a window to dive underneath. Miller's only successful overtake came against Raul Fernandez, but it was short-lived. Persistent engine braking issues forced him to switch maps early. Still, the problem lingered. We had some engine braking difficulties. I switched to the second map on lap 3. After that, I had no more options. On a circuit where trail braking is king, Yamaha's transitional stability is under the microscope. Miller's workaround, flipping maps mid-race, reveals the urgency for a software fix before sack-centering. Seeing VR46 machines in qualifying pace only compounded Miller's struggle. In his quest to match their lap times, he admitted to errors that cost him precious tenths, errors born of pressure and a feeling of falling behind. I was frustrated. I started making silly mistakes trying to stay with those guys. The mental burden of chasing the front group on a one-line track can't be overstated. Miller's candid admission underlines how closely rider confidence and machine performance are intertwined. Despite the net result, Miller found positives in data, then pointed directly at electronics as the biggest Achilles heel. We have some positive aspects, but our electronics were pretty bad in the last corner. We need to fine-tune that. On circuits demanding mid-corner stability, a seamless electronics map can make or break exits and top-speed runs. Miller's feedback gives Yamaha a clear target for its next test. Ever pragmatic, Miller believes the sack-centering's long, flowing corners suit the Yamaha's strengths, and he's eager to see if his tweaks pay off. Power isn't our problem. It's usable power. Sack-centering has a lot of long corners where this bike turns quite well, so we'll see what we can do. With Brno looming after Germany, Miller hopes a corner-carving circuit will allow him to showcase the M1's chassis prowess, and finally unleash those hard-earned mid-pack gains. Assen may have been a 14th-place double, but for Jack Miller it was far from routine. Armed with clear learnings on electronics, braking, and confidence, he now heads to sack-centering ready to transform struggle into surge. In a season where every point counts, Miller's ability to convert data into decisive overtakes could turn survival into stardom. Thanks for watching ZNGP today, and this is your MotoGP news update. And see you next time!